All right, and we're back for another episode of the Sports Department Podcast with Justin Valentovic, Stephen Bologna, Joe Paolantonio, and Anthony Walker. In our last baseball podcast, we previewed and predicted and just kind of looked at the American League Central before I lagged out because my internet crapped out as usual. So Joe and Steve finished that one up for us, but we got the whole crew here to talk about the National League Central, equally as bad. If not, it's just a waste of a division at this point. Both Centrals are just pathetic. So we'll go through the Pirates, the Brewers, the Reds, the Cubs, and the Cardinals, talk about all their notable offseason moves, predict what we think is going to happen for them this season, and who we think is going to win the Central. But before we get into that, guys, what's going on?
Baseball's back.
I'm happy we're just getting this over with. God, this division is terrible. It's good to see baseball back. The Orioles were in action. You know,
they tied.
Shout out
to with the Phillies.
Wow.
They just kind of ended the game after 7 innings. They only wanted to play 7, so I was happy to get home from work to see like 3 pitches and then the game ended. So that sucks.
What is with that? Why are they only doing 7 innings for training games?
It's for right now before March 13th. They can decide the night before to play anywhere between 5 and 9. To get like players ramped up, since they kind of just didn't really have like a training period before games started. And then from the 13th to the end of spring training, it can be anywhere between 7 to 9. It's just to ramp things up.
Is it a COVID thing? Like, I don't understand.
I think it's COVID mixed with how last season was just short. So they're trying to slowly work people back into baseball shape. But it happened in the Orioles game yesterday against the Pirates where Eshelman, no surprise, hit the pitch limit that they wanted him to throw in the inning. So they just ended the inning with 2 outs and just went to the bottom half of the inning.
Wow.
Like that's just
I heard about that.
Yeah, they're just doing all weird. They truly don't care about spring training, which is fine because it's worthless. So they're really just doing it just to get everyone back in shape.
I care about spring training.
I do too, just to watch it.
It's nice. It's nice to see the guys. Look, Trey Mancini's back.
Yeah, it was typical Oriole fashion. Mancini got a hit his first at bat, and Chris Davis struck out looking his first at bat. So we're already in midseason.
Love it.
Yeah.
Did you see Angel Hernandez missed a pitch right down the middle?
Yeah, as always. God,
that was in an NL Central game.
It was.
Well, half a Central where the Nationals and the
Cardinals
and the Nationals were both wearing red. It looked like Little League. But let's get into the National League Central, and we'll start from worst to first. So we start with Joe's backup team, the good old Buccos, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Their notable moves: they traded Josh Bell to the Nationals, traded Jameson Taillon to the Yankees, and Joe Musgrove out to the Padres. So they unloaded more talent, and they didn't really replace it. They got Todd Frazier. That's about it. So he probably won't even have a roster spot because Colin Moran's probably going to be the first baseman, and Brian Hayes is going to be the third baseman. So Frazier is SOL. Oh, boy, and it's going to be another brutal, brutal season for the Pirates.
Oh, yeah. No, this is going to be as brutal as they come. The thing about the Pirates is they aren't even in a rebuild. You can't even say that because there's not a lot of help on the horizon. I mean, they traded off a lot of big pieces. Josh Bell, Taillon, Musgrove, all out the door, and for what?
Really, nothing.
Will Crow, I think.
And they also got like a 19-year-old kid out of like the Dominican Republic. And outside of that, they really have nothing. It's just
the Archer
brutal.
trade really killed them a couple years ago.
Yeah.
What trade?
Archer.
The Archer trade from Meadows and Glasnow.
Yeah.
But even then, you have to assume at this point, would Glasnow and Meadows even still be there? Like, would they have just been dumped in advance anyway? But the Pirates, there's not much to say, but they're just bad. They're gonna be
Brian
bad.
Hayes is it.
Yeah, that's literally
that's
it.
I was gonna say, if I'm a Pirates fan, that's the only reason I'm watching the Pirates this year is for Brian Hayes.
And that's it. It's kind of like he's literally going into the sole player, like Josh Bell was for the longest time, of just the only guy that's worth watching.
Maybe Mitch Keller too. Maybe you want to see what Mitch Keller can bring to the table. But other than that, there's nothing really.
Other bad teams have something. Like the Orioles have some pop in their lineup. The Rockies have some good pitching. The Tigers got good young pitching.
There's just nothing.
There's nothing redeemable. There's absolutely nothing, even entertainment value. They better just put capacity at 0% because no one's going to go to the games anyway.
Yeah. So with that, let's stop talking about this depressing team. I'm going to say they're going to win 58 games this season.
Yeah.
58 and 104 for me. Under 60 games. They just don't have anything going for them. No pitching, no bullpen, nothing.
I'll go 55.
Oof.
I just don't see.
Oh, God, this is tough. I'm gonna go 60 wins. Worst team in baseball.
I was also gonna go 60. Currently plus 6,500 Pirates win this division. So
what's the World Series odds?
God,
probably not even listed, honestly.
I'm looking up their over-under total.
The over-under
58 and a half.
58? Yeah, 58
and
a half. So, Justin, I mean, if you want to throw a couple bucks down on the
few shekels.
Plus 25,000.
Ooh. So. Yeah, no, Bucks are just the Pirates are going to have a bad year. So let's switch things over to the Milwaukee Brewers, who really didn't do anything this offseason.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, like nothing of note. And this is a team that's literally needed pitching since they got Yelich, and they've been, relatively relevant. They just haven't added it. Like, yes, you have Devin Williams. Is it Devin? It's Devin Williams, right? Out of the pen?
Yeah.
Yes, Devin Williams.
And Josh Hader out of the pen. It's like, okay, those are two good back-end bullpen guys. Who's starting for you? Like, honestly, they have no starting pitching. They really haven't added anyone to the lineup to help Yelich. It's going to have to be him as a one-man show again.
Corbin Burns was a stud last year.
No, he had a good year. But then it's just, okay, who's pitching 2 through 5 for you?
It is tough.
It's Woodruff, it's Burns, and then that's it.
Because they traded Zach Davies also to the Padres,
they
I
picked
think.
Up Jordan Zimmerman.
No. That's brutal.
Are they really?
Yes.
When did that happen? Honestly, when did that happen?
I don't know. It happened.
They got Daniel Vogelbach.
The thing is, this team could surprise a lot of people. I don't think that they're going to be Game 7 of the NLCS against the Dodgers like they were a few years back, or even wild card game. But this lineup, it scares me. It really does. I'm thinking that they will be fighting for the top 2. Colton Wong was a lovely addition. One of the better, quality middle infielders. You got Keston Hiura, rakes, Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich. I mean, this isn't Murder's Row.
It's not flashy,
but
by any means.
Avisel Garcia, Travis Shaw. It's okay. Omar Narvaez, one of the most underrated catchers in baseball. Guy can hit.
Yeah, like they have capable major leaguers, 1 through 9 in the batting order, but it's just like, are they better than the Cubs? Are they better than the Cardinals? Are they better than the Reds?
I think they're better than the Cubs.
Okay. Yeah, the Cubs are definitely on the tear down portion of their the core from the World Series team.
This isn't a great team. This is not a great team. But in this division, they're going to win games because late in the game, when it comes down to the bullpens, the Cubs, the Reds, the Pirates don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. It's a battle of bullpens.
Well, and the thing is, too, just to get into the playoffs, you have to beat your own division. And when you play the Cubs, you play the Pirates, they're going to play the Reds relatively tough. And the Cardinals, they're good, but they're not great. If they just worry about their own division, they could get into the playoffs as a wild card team. Or, if they piece it together, maybe win the division. I don't think they will. But, it's a capable team. Not a great team, but a capable team.
I agree. The division will be close, I think.
Yeah,
I actually they have a real chance.
No, I actually think this team is sneakily decent. I think Yelich is going to have a big bounce-back year. I definitely like Woodruff and Burns at the top of the rotation. I know they got to add another arm or two, but for the time being, those two guys are definitely co-aces. And then, as you said, you got Hader and Williams. You still got Lorenzo Cain in the locker room. You still got Avisel Garcia. I mean, you have pieces, and they're not too far off. I'm not saying they're going to win 95 games, but I could definitely see them, coming away with high 80s in the win total. If they
that's the thing. Do we know if Lorenzo Cain's playing this year? Because he opted out last year because of COVID. And that was kind of a big hit.
I'm assuming he is, but yeah, he might not be. But I'm pretending he is just for
just because of age. They didn't bring back Ryan Braun. I mean,
no,
didn't really do much towards the end anyway.
For them. He's been there a long time.
I know.
Yeah.
He's 37. He's been there since 07, so almost 14 years.
That's crazy.
They need MVP Yelich to return to form. He had a rough year last year.
Was it last year or the year before he fouled the ball off his kneecap and was just kind of out for
that was the year before, I think.
Okay.
I think he'll be back.
MVP running.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a bright spot. He's definitely a bright spot for this team. But if Josh Hader is the guy that I cannot wait to see another full season of. He is so electric. And maybe you could kind of root for the Brewers to fall out of it, because to see him on a World Series contender would be so exciting.
Yeah. I don't know why they haven't traded him yet. He's been in talks like the past 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's clearly that the asking price is too high.
It's that, and they're always on the fence of being, a contender for the playoffs, where they're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't move him, so let's hold on to him for a little bit. But then by the time the trade deadline's passed, it's when something starts to fall apart for him, and they should have moved him. And they just keep doing that cycle of holding on for a little bit too long, but also kind of being on the fence for too much.
No, I agree. I mean, he's so versatile, but at the same time, you have to watch out. There's a lot of innings on his arm. He could be a risk of kind of, getting gassed out a little too soon in his career.
He's still only 26, though. That's the thing. Like, he's still young. I know he has a lot of innings on his arm, but it's not like he's been around for forever. It's not like he's in his mid 30s or his early 30s, or even his late 20s. He's still in his mid 20s, so I don't know.
Yeah, it solely relies on him and Williams and their ability to close out games, because that's the one advantage. Like, Joe, I think you said it before, that they have over basically every other team in this division, because the Cardinals last year, with Andrew Miller was a flop, and, Pirates, they're just a mess, and the Reds don't really have a closer, because I think they traded Raciel Iglesias also this past offseason. So they really don't have anything, and the Cubs, who cares about them? So it's really it's really their only advantage. So with that, I'm saying they're going to win 88 games.
Wow.
That's probably enough to win the division.
That would win the division. Absolutely, it would.
Their over-under is 82.5. So I'm going to go with 85. I feel like that's safe.
I'll take the under. I'll give them 77 wins. That's good enough for a close second place in a bad division.
Walker, what about you? I think you said it before, but just reiterate.
I'm right with you, Justin. I got to give him I'm going to give him 88 wins. I like them in the high 80s. I don't think they're quite going to hit the 90 mark, but I definitely like them as a high 80s. At worst, low 80s.
That is a lot.
I think 85. I think 85 wins honestly wins this division.
No, I mean 88 isn't a ton of wins. I mean, that's not an elite team.
Yeah, it's only 6 games over 500.
Of course, that's not true.
No, it's
7.
it's not.
It's got to be like 15.
It's 74. It's 14. It's 14.
Yeah.
74. It's 14.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I mean, that's like it's a solid team. It's not like elite though. Like I think I think they're gonna be good. I don't think they're gonna be like elite, but I feel like elite's like 95 wins. But
I get that. I get that. I just don't see a lot of teams winning 88 games this year as a whole, because the league is so top heavy right now.
Right. Well, I mean, I think Justin said these teams are going to beat up on each other, and whoever the best team in that division is going to benefit from playing the other 19 times a year.
All right, so let's move along to the third place winner of last year's NL Central was the Cincinnati Reds. And they were a team basically who went into last season going for, brought in Castellanos. They traded for Bauer the year prior. They lost him in free agency this year. As we said, they moved Raciel Iglesias, to the Angels. And that's really kind of the only significant moves. They held on to Suarez. They held on to Moustakas. They held on to Castellanos. And, they kind of went for it, but now they kind of pulled back the reins a little bit and just kind of stayed put.
Absolutely. I mean, this team could have went all in as they have been, but it looks like that their window got closed. They would have benefited probably from a full season last year. Unfortunately, they didn't, and they lost their Cy Young Award winner, Trevor Bauer. So now it's Castillo and Gray at the top of the rotation. And that's it. Then you got, the Wade Mileys and the Michael Lorenzens of the world, which
Michael Lorenzen. Guy rakes.
tough. Yeah, no, he's probably a better hitter than
pitcher.
Yeah, yikes. I mean, nothing on this team is really that exciting. Suarez is solid. Votto's past his prime. Castellanos is like it's all good, not great hitters.
Yeah, like Moustakis, like they're still playing him out of position at second base just because that was just a bizarre sign. Who's their shortstop? Because they let Galvis walk, and did they even replace him? Like, do they even have an active
Galvis
shortstop?
is an O, baby.
Yeah, I know.
They picked up.
I don't know.
Gordon.
So maybe he'll slot over to
Strange.
second, and then Moustakis will go over to third, and then Suarez will go back to short, where he hasn't played since he was a Tiger his rookie year, 7 years ago.
Yeah, they're two listed shortstops. They're Jose Garcia and Kyle Farmer. So
that's brutal. And they also have way too many outfielders still, but that's here nor there.
This isn't a good team. This is not a very good team at all.
They were very flashy last year, making the two big splashes of Castellanos and, having Bauer ready to go. And, Sonny Gray, fixing his career after the New York debacle. And now it's just kind of well, you guys didn't really do anything to keep up with that momentum. And it's you're kind of falling by the wayside again. Good job, Cincinnati.
Bullpen is bad. This bullpen's not winning many games.
The bullpen was bad last year. Now they
took pieces away.
They traded their closer for no reason at all. They
did acquire Sean Doolittle, who he's an okay pitcher, but
he's a cool guy. But I don't know. I don't know if you're a pitcher.
Not that good anymore. He used to be really good when he was in Oakland, but
they still have Amir Garrett.
They do have Amir Garrett.
Great left hook.
He's just there.
Michael Lorenzen. This shows how small their depth is really. Michael Lorenzen is the third center fielder on the Reds depth chart right now.
Scary. They did nothing, did they?
No. They just let Bauer walk, and that was basically it.
They need to trade an outfielder. They have Shogo Akiyama, Jesse.
That is true. They picked up Shogo Akiyama last year, and he was a disappointment.
They still have Aquino's still there also.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah, I forgot about
that. He still hasn't panned out.
They don't know
I don't know about Aquino. I mean, the guy had a good.
I'm not a big Aquino guy.
He's a boomer bust guy.
After that first little 2-week hot streak, that was it for him.
Yeah, they're another team who the Brewers need a DH, the Mets need a DH, the Reds definitely need the DH just to get some of the clutter out because they bought in on too many of the same players who play the same positions, and they created a logjam that they really can't get out of.
It's not a fun team either. I'm not really even excited to watch them play.
No.
Nah, me neither.
Last year, it was fun because they had a bunch of new players. Now it's just
Also, Bauer, when he packed up and moved out to LA, now he just took the fun and personality with him from this team, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, who cares?
And Luis Castillo, he's been connected to possible trade packages wherever, Yankees and so forth. So it's if they deal him, their ace is Sonny Gray. And it's congrats, you're just Midwest, not Cincinnati, Oakland. If Sonny Gray's your best, it's yikes. This team, they'll be fun, not fun, but they'll be productive hitters.
This is a failed franchise. I mean, the Reds really have.
They'll be fun when they wear their sleeveless jerseys.
Oh yeah.
So stupid.
They had one shot at it, and they
in
lost
60 games, and they blew it.
Yep, that's pretty much what it was. They had one shot at it.
Yeah, and it fell apart. So with that, I say they're gonna be 80 wins this season.
You're very generous.
Yeah.
Very generous.
You're a very, very generous man. The Reds. I have such little expectations. 74.
Yeah, I mean, current over under 82.5.
Haha.
So I'm gonna go with Joe. Very low 70s. I'm gonna go 74. That's my golden goose.
That's also Joe.
I'll take 78.
Okay.
78.
Middle man. Walker likes to meet in the middle.
So let's just go to another decaying team in this division who's just letting it naturally fall apart, and that's the Chicago Cubs. They let Schwarber walk. Lester also walked, and he would literally have come back and played for nothing because he loved Chicago, but he's out in DC now with Schwarber, ironically. Darvish, they traded out to San Diego just to get rid of salary, and they brought back Jake Arrieta, and then they replaced Kyle Schwarber with basically also Kyle Schwarber and signed Jock Peterson at that, right? So I don't even know what they're doing at this point.
Yeah, I would know what they were doing if they didn't sign Jock Peterson. That was such a random move. It's like if you're tearing it down, tear it down. Don't sign like an all-star caliber outfielder.
But they
also signed Jake Arrieta back for like nostalgia.
But they wouldn't bring John Lester back for nostalgia when he probably would have been a lot cheaper and at least a better fan favorite than Jake Arrieta.
So there's their ace. Their ace is now probably what, Hendricks?
Kyle Hendricks.
Yeah,
he isn't terrible though.
Hendricks. No, he's a solid pitcher, but I mean, he's definitely not in the top tier.
No, I agree. But I mean, I think this season goes one of two ways. I think if they're, shit in the bed halfway through the season at the deadline, they're going to probably trade Bryant. If not, they'll give it one more whirl and then trade Bryant in the offseason and probably re-sign Javi.
Well, Rizzo's also a free agent at the end of this year too, so they could go nuclear and just leave.
They could go nuclear.
Going full blown like Chernobyl would be just dumping all three of them, and at that point, just get rid of Contreras too. Just get rid of everybody because that's where this team is headed.
It seems like a solid team on paper. It seems like it has potential to be a good team, but there's just something missing. It's just the end of an era.
Bullpen.
We don't have it anymore. The bullpen's fine. I mean,
they will to win.
What a disappointment the Craig Kimbrell signing was.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
His career is just he waited too long. I think that's the whole crux of it all.
Yeah.
I do like Zach Davies, who they acquired. Not a bad pitcher. I know you're gonna laugh.
I like Brandon Workman too.
Solid arm. Yeah, I forgot they added Brandon Workman. They made a couple of under the radar moves. They also signed Austin Romine, which I didn't know.
Big move.
I had no idea.
This pitching staff is bad. Their catcher's overrated. I mean, Nico Horner. Do we even know who this guy is yet? Like,
he's just a rookie who.
It's just I don't know. Ian Happ, Nico Horner. It's just a bunch of guys that we keep hearing about. But like,
Javier Baez is gonna try and bounce back this year, and I think he will. I think a lot of the guys that didn't have great years are gonna bounce back to an extent
because he'll want to get the hell out of there at this rate.
Yeah. So
they lost Almora. He's gone.
They did lose Almora.
They really they let their entire outfit just walk.
Yeah.
I'm just not into this team. Like
I think I think at the deadline we'll see Happ and Bryant get traded. Rizzo's going to walk at the end of the year, and they're just going to leave Baez. But Baez is a free agent also, so they could lose everybody.
I don't know if they're going to lose.
Did they trade for Fowler, or am I just dreaming that?
No, Fowler went out to he got traded to the Angels.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why I'm thinking
from the Reds or from the Cardinals.
They have Hayward too. I forgot about that.
Oh God, Jason Hayward. I think that still has like 6 years on that deal. I think
it does. No, he has a lot. I want to say it's probably more than 6.
Jason Hayward contract. I remember when they signed him, like when they flipped him and like Ryan Fowler. Yeah, they just swapped in free agency. It was the same offseason.
Neither of them were that good.
Yeah, no.
He had an awful year this year there.
Hayward signed for $22.5 million through 2023.
So, wow, he has less years than
only 2 years left.
Deal. It was a Chris Davis deal, 7 years for too much money.
And we all know that worked out.
Yeah, it's the same product. Oh, they won a World Series at least with him.
Did they win it the year that Hayward was there?
Yes, they signed him in 16, so that would have been the 16 offs.
Right.
Let me go to Wikipedia, see if he has a ring.
No, he does. I'm looking at it right now. He was there at 16. I'm looking at stats. Yeah. So then was Fowler there in 16 too, or did he get traded?
Fowler. They both hit free agency at the same time, and Fowler went to the Cardinals and Hayward came over to the Cubs. They effectively swapped each other.
Right.
Okay. They'll want Glaber back.
Yeah. Do you think they want Adam Warren back?
You want Chapman back?
Oh. So
do they want Rashad Crawford back and Billy McKinney back? They're on the Brewers.
So let's
Darwin Barney and Starlin Castro up the middle. That was a fun.
Oh yeah.
Those are dark days.
Yeah. So, record prediction. I'll start with Bologna.
What did they give the Brewers?
85 wins. I think they are going to be a very high contender here for number one in the division. You know, obviously they kind of choked it against Miami last year in the playoffs, which is kind of embarrassing. But again, like I said, the season goes one of two ways. Either they don't play very well the first half and they trade Bryant, or they play really well the first half and they just go for it one more time with this trio. And I think that second option, in my opinion, is going to be the way it goes. So 85 wins.
I'm going to go with option one, Steven. I think this is a complete disaster. This team is falling apart as we see it in front of our very eyes. And I think they'll finish with 75 wins because they would have moved Rizzo, Bryant, and Baez all at the deadline, and they go full nuclear meltdown.
Chernobyl.
Justin, do you remember what I gave the Brewers win total?
74.
The Brewers, I gave them 74?
No, maybe 79. I think 79.
79. But you gave the right 70. You gave the right 74.
I should have wrote this down, but
I'm gonna put the Cubs somewhere between the Reds and the Brewers. So I'll put them at 76 wins.
Okay.
Walker? I originally was gonna say 83, but I'm looking at this team now. I like it more than I did before looking at it. I'll go 85.
Work. Good man.
All right. And before we wrap up this podcast, we got one more team to go through, and that is the St. Louis Cardinals. They won the division last year, and they re-upped and they reloaded just a bit by adding one of the best third basemen in baseball. I didn't want to say the best because Joe will get defensive and we'll get 10 minutes left. So I don't want to start that whole debate between Arenado and Chapman for who's number one, but they added him to their lineup, took on a lot of money, but the Cardinals, that was basically their only major move. And I think he'll give them the division.
St. Louis. Yeah.
It's things in life. Like when a team doesn't seem like they're going to be good, the San Antonio Spurs, year in, year out, the Pittsburgh Steelers, year in, year out, you go into seasons and you're like, there's no way. But yet they continue.
New York Giants.
Yeah, no, the Giants are bad sometimes. But like you look at some of these people on paper,
I'm going to say sometimes.
And you're like, the Cardinals. I'm never betting against the Cardinals to win the NL Central again because it's all they do. They consistently win this division with subpar teams every year. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's not gonna happen once again. It's ridiculous. I don't even think they're particularly great or even deserving. But they got Nolan Arenado, which is cool. I mean, Paul Goldschmidt's still there. It's like, that's easy to forget. That's great on the corners. Even Paul DeYoung, like it's a nice infield. Jack Flaherty, electric. Absolutely electric. Giovanni Gallegos, you're welcome. It's a good team.
I'm a big Dylan Carlson guy.
It's an 84-win team, and it's going to win a division.
Other than Flaherty, nothing really gets me going in the starting rotation.
Got Wainwright back.
I didn't know Wainwright was 6'7" actually, but
yeah, he's massive.
Yeah, I did not know that. But yeah, it's Wainwright's whatever. Michaelis is whatever. Martinez isn't doing much for me. The bullpen doesn't really do much for me other than Giovanni Gallegos and Andrew Miller.
He should be coming back off Tommy John.
Jordan Hicks is that like he throws hard, but he can't throw a strike.
Well, that's how he blew his arm out.
Yeah, like when he's able to control that velocity, then I'll buy more into him. I like, and then they got Goldschmidt, Arenado, who I like, but I mean, like 2 stars and then a bunch of mediocrity around him just isn't really doing it for me.
But that's enough mediocrity to win the division.
I feel like in this division, I'm not saying they're going to be a bad team. I just don't think they're going to win the division. I think they're going to be a mediocre team.
Okay, so with that, let's do final record for the Cardinals, and then your division winner. Yeah, Steve.
I'll look it up.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with 90 wins for the Cardinals, and that wins the Central.
Mr. Generous.
Yeah, 85 wins the Central.
I'll go 82.
I'm getting there.
82 and 80.
All right. Steve, don't worry about it.
I am excited to see Dylan Carlson.
A little Harrison Bader action.
Cardinals is 86 and a half. And I'm gonna hammer that over 89.
All right.
I think this is a good team. Really good team.
So with that, that's basically our NL Central preview podcast. I think we all had the Cardinals basically winning it, which was the general.
The Brewers
really? You're taking the Brew Crew?
Yeah, I'm going bold.
Okay.
I like the Brewers. I don't know. I think they're better than what people are giving them credit for.
Oh, it'll be interesting to see. Stay tuned for when we talk more about baseball later down the line once the season starts. But we'll do what you want to do, AL West or NL West this week? Which one?
That's the
AL West.
AL West. All right, so we'll do AL West probably around Friday. We got a mock draft coming out on Wednesday that Steve and Jesse did for the second one. So that'd be cool to see. And make sure you follow all of our social media accounts. Links are in the description. I don't feel like saying them, and subscribe and all that fun stuff. So thanks for watching.